The fifth grandchild of the beloved Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, and a cousin to Prince William, Princess Beatrice is a kind-hearted woman who was born into a world of privilege and prestige. But unlike her esteemed status and luxurious appearance, she endured losses and struggles too heavy for a single lifetime. Join us as we uncover the twists in her fate that bring to light her heartbreaking challenges and struggles that range from public shaming and awe-striking family affairs to disappointments that left her in the public speculation. Mrs. Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi, also known as Beatrice Elizabeth Mary, or just Princess Beatrice, was born on 8th August 1988 at the Portland Hospital in London as the first child of the Duke and Duchess of York and the fifth grandchild of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. It was surprising how her name wasn't announced to the public until 2 weeks after her birth. In 1992, when she was 7, her parents decided to separate, which was a peaceful agreement, and chose to co-parent her and her younger sister Eugenie, who was 5 then. Following her parents' divorce, a scandal revolving around images of Sarah Ferguson with American financier John Bryan greatly challenged Beatrice's early years. She had difficulty at school at an early age, and when she was 7 years old, she was diagnosed with dyslexia, which brought about some obstacles, but later she found a more helpful schooling adaptation. Beatrice started her academic journey at Upton House School in Windsor, but changed to Coworth Park School and St. George's School in Ascot. Her GCSE examinations were pushed by a year as a result of her dyslexia, yet her grades were impressive. In September 2008, she studied history and the history of ideas at Goldsmiths, University of London. She expresses her gratitude for the educational help she received in earlier years by educating others about dyslexia and promoting the opportunities that come with it.
And I think that's one of the strengths that we have as dyslexics, is to look at things differently and be a problem solver, find new ways to do things, be experimental, entrepreneurial.
She claimed that dyslexic students possess magical brains that operate distinctly. Speaking at the Helen Arkell Dyslexia Charity, she went on to positively influence her alikes for most of her adulthood. In the summer of 2008, Beatrice gained practical experience as a sales assistant at Selfridges, and without any financial compensation, she volunteered at the press office of the Foreign Office. In a documentary film named The Young Victoria, 2009, which revolved around her ancestor Queen Victoria's rise to power, Beatrice played a small, non-speaking role. She also worked as a paid intern at Sony Pictures, but she resigned following a hacking incident in 2014. In April 2015, Beatrice relocated to New York City, and in April 2017, she started a job. She works as the Vice President of Partnerships and Strategy at Affinity, and goes by the name Beatrice York professionally. In addition to her role at Affinity, she also leads a program that advocates for women in leadership positions, where she involves in charity and public speaking.
What an amazing charity this organization is.
Princess Beatrice was close with her grandfather, Prince Philip, which was the reason she was deeply saddened by his. In 2021, during Philip's service of Thanksgiving, Beatrice was seen trying to conceal her tears from the cameras by using her order of service sheet. She also expressed her admiration for Philip and the memorable times they spent in the 2016 ITV documentary titled Our Queen at 90. Before his passing, Beatrice demonstrated her affection to him by making him one of the few invited her private wedding ceremony with Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi during lockdown, about 9 months before his passing. On 5th April 2012, Beatrice attended the traditional Royal Maundy service in York with the Queen and Prince Philip by receiving flowers and assisting the Queen in giving Maundy money to pensioners. She also appeared in the reception of the Olympic Flame at Harewood House near Leeds in preparation for the 2012 Summer Olympics. Beatrice experienced another major loss when her grandmother, the Queen, passed in 2022, since she had a strong bond with her and even saw her as a role model in many aspects. In respect of her, on September 2022, Beatrice and her sister, along with her 6 cousins, took a 15-minute vigil around the Queen's body as it lay at Westminster Hall. At the ceremonial funeral on 19th September, she portrayed obvious emotions while grieving the loss of her cherished grandmother. She even wore a modified version of one of the Queen's gowns for her wedding dress. In the Queen's place, Charles III took the throne, and Beatrice Beatrice was named Counselor of State, as it is her place in the line of succession where she fulfilled official responsibilities in his absence. Similar to her journey so far, her romantic life was also surrounded by struggles and pain. A minor one was her romantic involvement with Paolo Liuzzo, an American man with a troubling past, having assault charges. Yet it was her decade-long relationship with Virgin Galactic executive Dave Clark that grabbed more attention. At the beginning of their relationship, Beatrice relocated to New York following his employment in Manhattan, where she practically claimed a stable and strong partnership with him, showing her dedication to their relationship. In 2016, Beatrice was reportedly anticipating a proposal from Clark, which never came even after her ultimatum, that if he's not taking the next step, they'd go their separate ways. Clark decided not to propose, which immediately ended the relationship. She had a hard time after the breakup, and even worse when Clark moved on and quickly tied the knot in 2018. Even though Beatrice had expressed her gladness for his new life, she didn't attend the wedding. After that, Beatrice found a new romance with Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi, the son of Alex Mapelli Mozzi, a British-Italian Olympic alpine skier of Italian nobility. In March 2019, Beatrice attended a fundraising event at the National Portrait Gallery, London, accompanied by property developer Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi, the son of Alex Mapelli Mozzi, a British-Italian Olympic alpine skier and descendant of the Italian nobility. The BBC describes Edoardo as also a count, like his father. However, that title is not officially recognized in Italy or the UK. The couple are believed to have begun dating in September 2018. Together, they attended the May 2019 wedding of Lady Gabriella Windsor, Beatrice's second cousin, once removed. Princess Beatrice and Mozzi became engaged in Italy in September 2019, with their engagement formally announced by the Duke of York's office on 26 September. The wedding was scheduled to take place on 29 May 2020 at the Chapel Royal at St. James's Palace, followed by a private reception in the gardens of Buckingham Palace. But first the reception and then the wedding itself was postponed because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The wedding was eventually held in private on 17th July 2020 at the Royal Chapel of All Saints, Royal Lodge, Windsor, and was not publicly announced in advance. As a male-line grandchild of a sovereign, Beatrice was known as Her Royal Highness Princess Beatrice of York at birth, the territorial designation coming from her father's title, Duke of York. Her wedding plans were greatly impacted by her father's friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, an American who was a convicted sex offender, charged with sex trafficking of minors and died in prison. Her wedding dress was a remodeled Norman Hartnell dress that was lent by the Queen, and she wore the Queen Mary fringe tiara that was also worn by the Queen at her own wedding. Princess Beatrice has a stepson, Christopher Wolfe, her husband's child from a previous relationship. She gave birth to a daughter, Sienna Elisabeth Mapelli Mozzi, on 18 September 2021 at the Chelsea and Westminster Hospital in Chelsea, London. At birth, Sienna was 11th in line to the throne, and following the death of Queen Elizabeth II on 8 September 2022, she became 10th in line. The couple lived at first in a 4-bedroom apartment at St. James's Palace, but then moved to a manor in the Cotswolds in 2022. Beatrice is expecting her second child in early 2025. Beatrice's physical appearance has been a major attention beacon for the media, unlike her royal status and luxurious life. Since she was a child, Beatrice was subject to rude criticism regarding how she looked. The desire for a perfect standard of beauty has been in her life, from a young age and even in adulthood. Beatrice's struggle with self-image can be linked to her mother's actions in her earlier years. It has been reported that her mother, Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, put her on a diet when she was only 8 years old. This was because Sarah herself, who was unkindly labeled the Duchess of Pork by the British press, faced body shaming and weight-related criticism during her marriage to Prince Andrew. Following their divorce, Sarah famously became a spokesperson for Weight Watchers and publicly documented her weight loss journey.
And I went on a journey to discover why I had this weight problem. Why couldn't I lose the weight? Why couldn't I get it right?
It is possible that Sarah, having been deeply affected by this criticism, may have projected her fears onto her daughter in an attempt to protect her from similar situations. However, this early emphasis on weight and appearance likely had a significant impact on Beatrice, leading her to develop self-consciousness at a young age. The media kept abusing Beatrice even as she went on to adulthood. At the wedding of Prince William and Kate Middleton in 2011, Beatrice was publicly mocked for wearing a bold fascinator, a hat with a large twisted bow, created by Philip Treacy. The media referred to it as the pretzel hat, which was tough on Beatrice as her sister disclosed in 2018, with the hat symbolizing questionable fashion decisions. Eugenie remembered a specific instance when Beatrice broke down in tears before a public appearance, around the time the article was published. This vulnerable moment emphasized the pain caused by constant verbal abuse on Beatrice, who, in addition to her known royal responsibilities, which she needed to handle as her responsibility, the media and the public brought upon her a heavier yoke of shaming. These unkind obstacles in her publicity have not prevented her from showing amazing strength by cultivating her unique sense of fashion and self-assurance, becoming skilled at maneuvering through the complexities of public life. Despite the impact of negative feedback, Beatrice has persisted in fulfilling her royal responsibilities with poise and honor, rejecting the media's frequently unkind depiction of her. Princess Beatrice was one of the most affected individuals by the continuous conflict between Prince Harry and the royal family, which had a significant impact on many members of the royal family. This caused Beatrice and her sister, Princess Eugenie, to fall into a difficult situation where they must study their loyalty to Harry with all the demands of the royal family. Beatrice and Eugenie have always shared a strong bond with Harry since when they were small children and have faced similar challenges as members of the royal family, which has only strengthened their relationship. Even after he had decided to distance himself from royal duties and his family after stepping back from royal life with Meghan Markle, the sisters kept their relationship with him intact. This bond, however, was not free from struggles, mainly with Harry being more outspoken about his frustrations with the royal family on various platforms, which included one-on-one interviews, memoirs, and even on Netflix. It has also been repeatedly reported that the bond the sisters had with Harry had negatively impacted their relationship with the rest of the royal family. Some royal insiders and experts reported from observations that Beatrice's closeness with the prince has shed a shadow over the royal family's trusting hearts. This event raised a rather shocking concern that she may, even on top of all that, not be trusted with confidential information about the nation of the United Kingdom, since Harry was accused of being in the habit of sharing such kind of secrets with the undeserving public. The potential books and documentaries that the prince may release in the future were of major focus, that is, if Beatrice keeps sharing such kind of confidential information with him. This was unlike Beatrice, who is seen to be reliable and devoted to the nation, as reported by the royal expert Angela Levin, who shared her opinion on the matter, but there is still hesitancy within the family to confide too much in her. The concern is that any details shared with Beatrice, even inadvertently, could be exploited to worsen the already delicate reputation of the royal family. This apprehension has supposedly resulted in a cautious attitude towards Beatrice and Eugenie, with certain family members opting to keep certain information from them to avoid the risk of it reaching Harry. The tension between Beatrice, Eugenie, and their cousin, Prince William, is obvious. It is rumored that William is becoming more distant from Beatrice and Eugenie while they remain close to Harry. As William takes on more responsibilities in the royal family, loyalty becomes a concern for him. Royal expert Tom Quinn believes that William's decision to keep his cousins at a distance is rooted in his fear that their bond with Harry could threaten the unity and confidentiality of the royal family. Quinn also mentioned that there is a feeling within the family that Beatrice and Eugenie, by maintaining their relationship with Harry, are aligning themselves with what a Kensington Palace official referred to as the dark side. Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie have been through various personal and public difficulties that have put their strength and allegiance to their family to the test. The accusations of sexual misconduct against Prince Andrew and his ties to Epstein were a shocking revelation for both the royal family and the general public, leaving Beatrice and Eugenie in a highly awkward situation. The sisters were greatly impacted by the scandal, feeling a combination of surprise, frustration, and disappointment. The allegations against their father not only harmed his reputation, but also hurt their public image. Despite their efforts to present themselves positively and discreetly to the public, they found the media attention surrounding the scandal to be extremely distressing. Their main concern was the potential damage the scandal could cause to their father's reputation, and consequently, their positions within the royal family. Beatrice and Eugenie have stood by their father, Prince Andrew, despite their disapproval of his actions. They acknowledge the seriousness of the situation and the negative impact it will have on Andrew's reputation and the monarchy as a whole. Their loyalty to him has not wavered, but they are also feeling let down by his poor judgment in associating with Epstein. During this chaotic time, Beatrice and Eugenie have not made any public statements about the scandal or the accusations against their father. It is doubtful that they will in the future, as their main focus has been on handling the situation with grace and confidentiality. Their decision to remain quiet indicates their strong desire to safeguard their family and avoid the constant attention from the press. Beatrice and Eugenie, aside from dealing with their father's turmoil, have encountered major obstacles revolving around their mother, Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York. In the year 2023, Sarah received the news of being diagnosed with breast cancer, which had a profound impact on her daughters. Despite undergoing surgery and follow-up treatments, the time was filled with worry and tension for the family. Luckily, Sarah eventually overcame breast cancer, but the happiness was short-lived. Approximately a year later, she was found to have skin cancer, specifically malignant melanoma. Beatrice and Eugenie stood by their mother through her health struggles, offering constant support. Reports indicate that the sisters were incredibly caring during this challenging period, showcasing their strong connection and unwavering loyalty to their family. In a subsequent conversation, Beatrice mentioned that her mother's health had vastly improved, and she had triumphed over cancer. Beatrice and Eugenie have been put to the test by these experiences, as they were forced to deal with intricate and distressing personal obstacles while being constantly in the spotlight and at the same time fighting for royal recognition. Being a part-time working royal is not a viable choice for individuals like Beatrice, which was established as a precedent by Queen Elizabeth II when she declined Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's request to divide their time between the monarchy and personal pursuits. Beatrice has never been an active member of the royal family and has instead pursued her career, which does not align with the requirements to become a working royal, despite the current understaffed status of the institution. This denial has been described as distressing by a friend of Beatrice, as reported by the Daily Beast. The friend expressed disappointment in the fact that the princesses have not been utilized for their desire to be of service to the royal family. They feel neglected by the royal family, even though they believe they have a lot to contribute, leading to feelings of both frustration and resignation. In 2002, Beatrice was reported to visit children living with HIV in Russia. She also supported Springboard for Children, a literacy project for primary school children with learning difficulties, which was in Britain. Also, the Teenage Cancer Trust was another one of her charity experiences. On her 18th birthday, Beatrice expressed her desire to utilize her status to offer aid to individuals through philanthropic initiatives. She had previously participated in charitable activities alongside her mother within the different organizations that the Duchess endorsed. In April 2010, running to raise money for children in crisis, she became the first member of the royal family to complete the London Marathon. Beatrice is the patron of Forget-Me-Not Children's Hospice, which supports children with life-shortening conditions in West Yorkshire and North Manchester. During the April 2011 wedding of her cousin Prince William, Beatrice gained widespread attention and criticism for wearing a unique headpiece designed by Philip Treacy, which was subsequently auctioned on eBay for £81,000 the following month, with the proceeds going to two charities, UNICEF and Children in Crisis. In November 2012, Beatrice became a patron of the York Musical Society. In April 2013, she became the royal patron of the Helen Arkell Dyslexia Center, a charity that she credits with helping her overcome her academic challenges resulting from dyslexia. In 2016, Beatrice, her mother, and her sister Eugenie collaborated with British contemporary artist Teddy MacDonald to create the first royal contemporary art painting. Royal Love was painted at Royal Lodge and exhibited at Masterpiece London before being sold with all proceeds from the sale donated by McDonald's to Children in Crisis. In 2018, Children in Crisis merged with Street Child, a children's charity active in multiple countries, with Beatrice serving as its ambassador. She also supports the Pitch Palace Initiative, a charity her father founded to amplify and accelerate entrepreneurs' business ideas. Beatrice participated in the South Asia Tour 2016, which spanned 9 days. During the tour, she visited Nepal, India, and Bhutan on behalf of the Franks Family Foundation, FFF, and Jamgon Kongtrul Eyes Centers. The visit aimed to support a free microsurgical cataract program in partnership with Nepal's Tilganga Eye Center, overseen by Nepali eye surgeon Sanduk Ruit. A few weeks later, she attended the 2016 Asia Game Changer Awards dinner at the United Nations in New York City, which honored Ruit and others. Beatrice and Charles Rockefeller presented Ruit with his Asia Society Asia Game Changer Award. Beatrice is the founder of Big Change, a charity she established with 6 of her friends to encourage young people to develop skills outside a traditional academic curriculum. In 2012, she climbed Mont Blanc in aid of the charity. In 2016, she joined forces with Richard Branson and his offspring in partaking in the fundraising initiative known as the Virgin Strive Challenge, wherein the group engaged in the ascent of Mount Etna. In 2017, Beatrice helped promote the anti-bullying book Be Cool, Be Nice, and gave an interview to Vogue at a House of Lords event, speaking about her own experiences with being bullied for her fashion choices in her early adulthood. Hello! Magazine later named her one of the best-dressed royals. In May 2018, she attended the Met Gala in New York City. In October 2018, she undertook an extended tour of Laos to raise the profile of the UK there, and also participated in the Luang Prabang Half Marathon for children. In 2018, Children in Crisis merged with Street Child, a children's charity that operates in numerous countries. Beatrice assumed the role of ambassador for this merged organization. In March 2019, Beatrice was appointed as a trustee on the board of the UK charity known as the Outward Bound Trust, following her father's assumption of the patronage previously held by his father, the Duke of Edinburgh. Similar to many other members of the royal family, Princess Beatrice serves as a patron for numerous charitable organizations. Among these organizations was Grace's Place, which offered free care for terminally ill children. Beatrice assisted in fundraising for the organization and was privileged to inaugurate its new facility. In her address during the event, she expressed, "It is a tremendous privilege to be present here today and witness this dream transforming into a reality. With the collective support of everyone involved, I am confident that this establishment can truly excel in childcare. It is a profound privilege to be part of this occasion." The facility was operational 3 days a week and every other Saturday. Despite considerable fundraising efforts and Princess Beatrice's involvement, the hospice encountered financial challenges. In a statement issued on social media platform X, the organization disclosed its closure. In 2019, in May 2019, she was honored at a gala in New York City for her work with Friends Without a Border. She has supported the Kairos HQ, a non-profit organization of entrepreneurs at universities in China, Europe, India, and the US. In April 2022, and in her capacity as an ambassador for the charity Made by Dyslexia, Beatrice and her husband took part in the first World Dyslexia Assembly, which was hosted by Prince Carl Philip in Sweden. In February 2023, Beatrice was appointed as the patron of the British Skin Foundation. Despite all of these, Beatrice remains strong and resilient, focusing more on the love from family and well wishes while doing what she knew how to do best. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe to see more videos like this one.